Hi friends, let us welcome back to our channel that is Point Out. So as a part of NCRT series, so we have completed understanding marginalization. Okay? So we have completed understanding marginalization and we move to new chapter that is confronted of marginalization. Okay? Confronted of marginalization. Confronted of marginalization. So we understand what is marginalization. Okay, so we have seen different communities marginalization. So we have seen Adivasis marginalization, we have seen Dalit communities marginalization, we have seen Muslim community marginalization. Okay, we have seen minorities marginalization, and through all that marginalizations we understand the complex phenomenon that is marginalization. Okay, so because of the marginalization, richer people becoming richer and poorer becoming poorer. Okay, because of the marginalization, the difference is created between them. So these people were marginalized. So because of that, they didn't getting proper resources. They didn't getting proper opportunities. So they are didn't getting basic amenities such as drinking water, shelter, and food. They are struggling for the basic amenities. Then how they will reach to the necessary things? Okay, then how they will get the education, proper education, how they will increase their literacy rate, how they will increase their economic upliftment. But in another this hand, so they were gradually growing. They are taking advantage of the political power and financial power. They are grabbing all opportunities and resources, and they started dominating these people. Okay, so because of the marginalization, so richers are becoming richer and poorers are becoming poorer. Richers are becoming richer and poorers are becoming poorer. So they faced a complex situation. So to address this issue, okay, to address this issue, we have we are now studying confronted of marginalization. Okay, confronted of marginalization. Confronted of marginalization. So in this lesson, we are going to see. So this lesson was interlinked to the previous lesson, that is understanding marginalization. So we understand the complexes and issues raised by the marginalization. So now we are going to address such issues and conflicts. Okay, such issues and conflicts. So we have two ways to address that issue. We have two ways to address the issue. That is, so to address the issue. To address the issue. One thing is through fundamental rights and through laws and policies. Okay, laws and policies. Fundamental rights and laws and policies. So we have seen in Hindu community system there is division. Okay, subdivision. There is upper caste and there is lower caste. So those who are upper caste, they taken all privileges. Okay, so they taken all privileges and they started dominating the lower caste people, that is Dalits. They have started exploiting them. They make them to work. They impacted on the dignity of life. Okay, so they took advantage on them. So people were started awareing about this, and they started raising their voice. They started questioning the government. They are continuously retaliating against untouchability. So they are immensely putting pressure on the police stations and on states. Okay, so because of the protects of the Dalit people, so putting so much of pressure on the state for the sake of fundamental rights, for the sake of fundamental rights. So they acknowledged their fundamental rights and they started retaliating for them. Okay, they started retaliating for them. And if the protests are so much of severe and the conditions are so much of severe, then parallelly laws and policies are also introduced. Okay, laws and policies are also introduced. So now we see how now how the community people addressed the issue using fundamental rights. Okay, using fundamental rights. First one will be Article 17. Okay, Article 17. So Article 17 says prohibition of untouchability, protection and prohibition of untouchability. Okay, so to provide the dignity of the life to the Dalit people, to provide the opportunities and resources for the Dalit people, to entering them into temples and access public places. So for the sake of that, for the social upliftment, so Constitution introduced Article 17, that is abolition of untouchability. Okay, abolition of untouchability. So to support this, there is another article, that is Article 15. Article 15. It says that right to equality. Right to equality. So right to equality says no one should wanted to be discriminated against because of the religion, caste, gender, sex, or based on the creed. Everyone should wanted to be respected, and each and everyone should wanted to treat equally and equal justice. Okay. So through this Dalit community, Dalit community addressed the issue using fundamental rights. Okay, using fundamental rights. So now let's see another example. So friends, please note it down. So now let's see another example. Addressing through fundamental rights. That is, so right to freedom of educational and cultural rights. Okay, right to freedom of educational and cultural rights. So it says that, so it will protect the interests of the minorities and interests of the linguistic. Okay, so it will protect cultural interests. So now let's see with an example. Let's see with an example, that is, so right to freedom of cultural and educational rights. Right to freedom of cultural and educational rights. So example, Muslim community, Muslim community and Parsis community. Okay, Muslim community and Parsis community. So we have seen they were minority in our India. So they were marginalized. Okay, they were marginalized and they were deprived in many ways regarding basic amenities, opportunities, resources, in job opportunities. So if the majority take advantage on them, there is a chance to eradicate, to abolish their unique cultures and traditions. Okay, so there will be the chance. So their culture and traditions they may force on these people. They may try to exploit their cultural and educational rights. So to attack such situations, to provide the protection for the minorities, to protect the interests of the minorities. So constitution provided. Okay, through this they can protect and conserve. So unique culture and traditions. Okay, unique cultural and traditions. Okay, so in this way they protected their interest. So through this fundamental right they address it. Okay, they address their issue through fundamental right. They address the issue. Okay, now let's see how laws and policies are made. How laws and policies are made. Okay, so how through laws and policies. So we already seen. So through laws and policies, they make for the development of the people. So here, uh, Dalit community people addressed their issue through laws and policy. So let's see. The first one will be through a scheme. Through a scheme. That is, so state will provide free hostels for the SC, ST and backward community people. Okay, free hostels, because so those who are living high standard of living, so they already have facilities, they have proper education, they have proper facilities, they are accessing all different resources for their development. But from here, local what we say, backward people, so they are struggling for the food, basic amenities. So from that moment, from that level they were accessing the education. Okay, sometimes the situation is going to become as a dropouts. So from that point they were raising. So to support, government provided free hostels, free hostels. So to support the education of the SC community, ST community, and backward community. Okay, so this is the scheme. Now let's see the law. Okay, now let's see law, that is reservation. Reservation. So we have already seen the background why reservation were introduced. So to provide the equality, okay, to provide the equality, so those who got all opportunities and resources, and the one who didn't got any opportunities and resources, so the both are competing for a single exam, so they need to get the equality. So the equality they will access through reservations, okay, through reservations. So it's a policy. So reservation means, so for central and for state, based on separate priority, they will make and they will place them in categories. So based on that categories, they will access while the admissions are taking place, and for the while the jobs are going on, and they are eligible. They only access when they clear the cutoff. Okay. So in that too, merited students only access from. Okay. So those who are merited students from the SC and ST and backward, and the one who clears the cutoff. Okay, the one who clears the cutoff, they are going to access. So in this way, state and constitution, okay, through constitution, equal opportunities are getting. So in this way, balance is creating. So this is what we have discussed in the last class. Okay, this is what we have discussed in the last class. Today, today we are going to discuss about the protection of rights of Dalits and Adivasis. Okay, protection of rights of Dalits and Adivasis. So now let's see through a case study. So what are the conflicts they raised and how they solved through questioning and raising their voice. So let's see with a case study. Okay, case study. So in a Jaglampur village, so in a Jaglampur village, they are going to celebrate a festival, and it is a big festival for their village. It repeats for every 5 years. It's going to be celebrated one time. Okay. So for the celebrations of that festival, around nearby villages, around 20 people of priests will come, and they perform the ritual. So before going to start the ceremony, so from Dalit community, from Dalit community, anyone should wanted to wash the legs of the priest, and they wanted to bath with that water. Okay, then the ceremony is going to start, and they even didn't allow that Dalit community enter into temple. Okay, so they didn't allow Dalit community to enter into temples. So this is the situation. So now let's see what happened. So Ratnam. So he completed engineering graduation. Nearly he has 20 years of age. So his father was used to do that work, washing the legs of the priest and bathing. And his grandfather used to do the work. And now it's the turn of Ratnam. So Ratnam, he didn't accept it to do that. He raised the voice. He questioned why we wanted to do. Even you people were not allow us to enter into temple, then why we wanted to do? Okay. So he declined that. He declined. Ratnam declined to wash. Declined to wash. Then what happened is their own community retaliated against the Ratnam. Own community. Because Dalit community, so they majorly depended on the landlords and financially poor people. So their survival basically depended upon daily wage labor. Okay. So for them it was provided by that people. So because of that they feared and they started opposing the Ratnam. And this is what happened. So the own community and the because of the influence of landlords, they were boycotted. Okay, Ratnam was boycotted from the village. No one was talking with them. No one was working for them. No one was supporting them. Everyone was boycotted them. And because of the influence of the landlords and upper caste people, so they put fire on their hut. Okay, they put fire on their Ratnam's hut at night. But safely they were escaped. His mother and he escaped. So because of the actions of the landlords. And he filed a case against the upper caste people. Okay, the powerful people. He filed a case, FIR. So by accessing the law, that is by accessing the scheduled caste, okay, the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, that is protection of protection and prohibition of atrocities. Prohibition of atrocities. 1989 Act. Okay, 1989 Act. So because of raising the voice by the Ratnam, because of questioning by the Ratnam, the festival ceremony was cancelled. Okay, the festival ceremony was cancelled, and he became the hero of that village because he raised the voice and he questioned for the sake of Dalits people, for the sake of dignity of Dalits people. But he was boycotted. Okay. So in the next class, we are going to see in detail about the act, that is the Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes Protection and Prohibition of Atrocities Act 1989. Okay. So in the next class, we will see. So this is all about today's class. Thank you, friend.